Hello friends, this is Jennifer Terri and welcome to my channel. This video I have an inbound travel update to you, which is not good news. Philippine Airlines announced that there will be a reduction of inbound passengers in NAIA. In their statement they said, Philippine government authorities have directed that international inbound arrivals at Manila Manila International Airport shall be limited to a maximum of 1,500 passengers per day for all airlines combined for the period from March 18, 8 a.m. to April 19 at 8 a.m. in line with a directive issued by the Civil Aeronautics Board. To comply with this restriction, airlines will need to cancel a number of international flights to and from Manila during the stated period March 18 until April 19. And Philippine Airlines will operate their full international schedule for March 18, but they will be announcing in due course any flight cancellations on other days for the rest of the period. Philippine Airlines announcement further added that airlines will likewise comply with any directives from the Philippine Bureau of Immigration and concerned authorities on the type of travelers that will be allowed entry into the Philippines within the same March 18 to April 19 period. And please note, listen to this, please note that certain passenger types will thus need to postpone their Manila-bound travels until after the stated period. Now that line, my friend, certain passenger type will need to postpone. That tells us that the Bureau of Immigration will soon introduce an inbound restriction for certain passenger types. Who needs to watch out? Foreign nationals, balikbayans. The last line, Philippine Airlines announcement said, please stay posted for further updates as we wait the final announcements and information from the Bureau of Immigration and the concerned authorities. So this is not good. So with this announcement, we're expecting two things here: flight cancellations and inbound entry restrictions. We will keep an eye of the Bureau of Immigration announcement. So follow the pages of the Bureau of Immigration on Facebook and the Office of the Presidential Spokesperson. These two pages will be the very first to announce if there's any changes on the inbound restriction. These two pages is where you can get the latest and the most accurate information. I know that some of you are very anxious now, especially those who have an incoming flight. So this kind of feels like, you know, those late December, January time when they had those bans on the 34 countries. Fingers crossed, I hope it's not that worst. I think it is no surprise since the Philippines has recorded and reported very high COVID cases. As of the last 5 days, the Philippines has reported more than 3,000 cases and it is increasing at a very fast rate. Government concludes that this is because of the easing of restrictions within the Philippines and those coming in the Philippines, the presence of the new variants, and people not following the health protocols. As of March 13, the Philippines reported 177 B112 variant, and then P3 variant, South African variant, and Brazil variant. P3 variant, isn't this the variant that was found in the Philippines? So I don't like how they named the variants here according to the countries where they were found. But the P3 variant, which is found in the Philippines, they named it P3, not Philippine variant. Isn't that discriminatory? Didn't you say that, Department of Health? The research warned that if the surge is not managed, the Philippines may see 6,000 new COVID cases daily at the end of March. So unlike the past surges, Octa Research said that the current surge has spread very quickly in a short period. Manila mayors ramp up on health protocols as cases continues to rise in the area. More barangay lockdowns are put in place in Manila. In fact, yesterday, six barangays were put in lockdown. On the other hand, in Quezon City, the Manila mayor imposed a liquor ban, and gyms, spas, internet cafes will be closed until the end of the month. In Makati City, lockdowns of zones were put in place but not entire villages. So the residents of these zones, majority of them are being tested. Moreover, the IATF mandated local government units to test 100% of cases with symptoms, and that those who are positive should stay in an isolation or quarantine facility. And those who are infected and opt to stay at home for the quarantine or isolation until they recover, they should be closely monitored by the barangay that they are staying in a household that is eligible for home isolation. You know, they should have their own room where they cannot mix with the other people in the house. So this is what's happening in the Philippines, guys. I know it's very alarming. I know that many of you are worried. So we will closely monitor the announcement of the Bureau of Immigration. And as to whether there will be a shift to an GCQ, an MGCQ, or a stricter quarantine classification for NCR or for the whole of the Philippines, the Department of Health Secretary said that the strict quarantine measures are now in place, but only in localized areas, more granular. But they'll see what happens in the next few days. If there is going to be a continuing increase, then that should be one of the possible recommendations that the IATF will first discuss before recommending to the president. So we're in very critical time right now, guys. We'll see what's happened for the next few days. As of now, while I'm filming this, there is no announcement from the immigration or the office of the presidential spokesperson yet. If you have an upcoming flight to the Philippines very soon for the next 10 days, 20 days, you better check your email for any flight rescheduling or cancellation. Alright, I'll keep an eye. Let's pray for the Philippines. I'll see you again with another video, and I'll see you again with another travel update. Bye!